In today's video, we're revealing the very expensive Washington quarters collectors are desperately searching for. You might have one hiding in your pocket change right now. Look at the change in your pocket right now. Go ahead, look at it. That worn, heavy metal disc you are about to spend on a cup of coffee might just be the most valuable piece of currency you will ever hold. But let's be brutally honest. Most of you will look, see a standard quarter, and spend it without a second thought. That is the spender mentality. That is the thinking that keeps people average. But there is a difference between the spender and the collector. The collector looks at a 1965 quarter and sees a ghost. They see a coin that, by all rights, shouldn't exist. They see a coin that was never supposed to leave the U.S. Mint. And if you're smart enough to know what you're looking at, that 25-cent piece could be worth nearly $1 million. We are talking life-changing wealth. Estate-level money. The kind of wealth that allows you to retire early, pay off a mortgage, and secure a legacy. This is the hidden wealth in pocket change, and it's waiting for those who pay attention. The extreme rarity of the 1965 no-mint mark quarter is not just a numismatic detail. It is a potential ticket to financial independence. We are about to dive deep into the specific error marks and the potential market value that could see this coin soar to $999,000 at auction. This is the story of the 1965 Washington quarter, the ghost of Philadelphia, and why it is the most sought-after treasure in modern American numismatics. We're talking about a coin minted at the height of a national crisis, a coin that served as a scapegoat for a government in turmoil, and a coin that holds a secret so powerful it can turn a pocket of spare change into a golden ticket. We are living in a time of economic uncertainty. Inflation is eating away at our savings. The stock market is a roller coaster of anxiety. People are desperate for tangible assets, for hard money, for something that holds intrinsic value. That is why the collector's market is on fire. Right now, rare coins are outperforming almost every other asset class. If you're not looking, you are losing. The fear of missing out on this wealth, this FOMO, is the driving force behind the current market trends. People are realizing that the pocket change sitting in their jars is a potential treasure trove. That worn-out quarter in the ashtray of your car, that could be an ultra-rare coin worth a fortune. Now, let's address the spender versus collector contrast. A spender sees a quarter as a quarter. They see 25 cents worth of buying power. A collector sees the date, the metal, the strike, and the errors. A spender looks at a 1965 quarter and sees a piece of common change. A collector sees a key date in American history, a coin with no mint mark and potential error marks that could spell a huge payday. In 1965, the U.S. Mint, in a panic to remove the word silver from our coinage, enacted the Coinage Act of 1965. This act did away with the 90% silver planchet for the dime and quarter, replacing it with a copper-nickel-clad composition. This change was meant to save money, but it created a chaos that led to the birth of some of the most valuable error coins in existence. If you're holding a 1965 quarter, you are holding a piece of that history. But if you're holding the right 1965 quarter, you are holding a piece of a legend. So, here's the first pattern interrupt. I need you to stop listening for just a second. I want you to physically walk over to whatever place you keep loose change. Your dresser drawer, your car's cup holder, your junk drawer at home. I want you to pull out every 1965 quarter you find. Look at them closely. Look at the edge. Is there a copper stripe? Or is it silver? Is the surface smooth? Or do you see doubling on the date or the word liberty? The 1965 quarter is the most widely minted coin in the history of the U.S., with over 1.8 billion struck. The vast majority of them are worth exactly 25 cents. But the ones that are not are the ones that are going to send collectors into a frenzy. It's the thrill of the hunt, the excitement of finding treasure in the most mundane of places. You're looking for the needle in a haystack, but the needle is made of gold. Are you ready to stop spending and start collecting? This is your urgent call to action. Check your change right now. To understand the value, you have to understand the history and the mechanics. The Coinage Act of 1965 was a massive change. The U.S. Mint was essentially given a mandate to stop the bleeding of silver leaving the country. But the transition was messy. The mint in Philadelphia, historically the main production facility, was churning out millions of 1,964 dated silver quarters at the same time it was ramping up production for the new 1965 clad quarters. It was a chaotic time of transition, and the government had a coin shortage crisis on its hands. Here is where the ghost enters the market. In the frenzy of production, leftover silver planchets, the blank metal discs intended for the 1964 silver quarters, were mixed in with the new clad planchets. A 1965 quarter struck on a silver planchet is not a standard coin. It is a transitional error. It is a ghost from the old regime, caught in the gears of the new machinery. It is a coin that exists outside the historical timeline, a phantom of what was supposed to be. As one expert put it, these are coveted by collectors because they represent a pivotal moment in U.S. history. This is the specific error that separates a 25-cent coin from a $16,800 payday. In the numismatic world, a coin struck on the wrong planchet is one of the most significant errors possible. It's like finding a modern car with a classic engine under the hood. But the silver planchet is just one error. The 1965 quarter is a magnet for minting anomalies because the dies were overworked and the standards were relaxed to meet demand. You have to look for double die obverse, DDO, errors, where the date or the word liberty appears doubled. A 1965 DDO has sold for as much as $1,650. You have to look for off-center strikes, where the die that strikes the coin missed its mark, leaving a blank space. These can be worth hundreds of dollars. You have to look at the weight. A standard clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A silver planchet weighs 6.25 grams. If you have a 1965 quarter that seems heavier, you might have a silver error in your hands. These are the error marks we're talking about. They're subtle. They're easy to miss. But they're the difference between poverty and prosperity. Let's do another pattern interrupt. Consider this. The vast majority of 1965 quarters were circulated heavily because the public hoarded them, initially suspecting they might be worth something. The irony is that this hoarding meant that most of them were taken out of circulation, then spent again, leading to wear and tear. The ones that are valuable are the ones that were saved immediately in mint state condition. An MS-68 grade clad 1965 quarter sold for $1,300 plus. But the big money is in the errors. A 1965 silver quarter graded MS-62 sold for $16,800. These are the ghosts of the market. They appear rarely, and when they do, they command a premium. This brings us to the ultimate question. How high can this coin go? The current market is in a state of heat. Fueled by inflation fears and a desire for tangible assets, auction records are being shattered. The rare coin market is a seller's paradise right now. The data we have shows the 1965 quarter on a silver planchet has fetched $7,050 for an AU53 grade and $16,800 for an MS62. But we're talking about the potential to hit the $999,000 mark. How is that possible? It's about rarity. The 1965 silver planchet error is estimated to have only a handful of examples in existence. Specifically, it is estimated that fewer than 5 are known to exist in uncirculated condition. This is the key. If an MS62 example can bring $16,800, what would an MS67 or MS68 example bring? The price will be exponential. This is the wild card. The market has never seen a 1965 silver quarter in flawless condition. We are talking about a coin that would blow the doors off the record books. It's the same principle as the 1943 copper penny, a coin that existed by mistake and is now worth over $1 million. The 1965 silver quarter is the modern equivalent, the Washington quarter of the modern era. And it's not just the silver planchet. We are talking about the no-mint mark phenomenon. From 1965 to 1967, the U.S. Mint deliberately did not place mint marks on any coins in an attempt to discourage coin collectors. The logic was that if a coin had no mint mark, it would be harder to collect sets, and thus coins would stay in circulation. This means that the no mint mark is standard for 1965. However, if you find a 1965 quarter with a mint mark, that is an error. It would be a coin struck from an older die that was accidentally used. And that, my friends, would be an absolute unicorn. A 1965 quarter with a mint mark would be a national story. It would attract the attention of serious collectors and professional grading services. Third pattern interrupt. This is the humor of pocket change. You're probably thinking, I've spent thousands of these over the years. It's a painful thought, isn't it? But we are not here to lament the past. We are here to capitalize on the present. The current market trend is that these transitional errors are becoming more valuable as they are discovered and certified. The call to action is simple. You must check your change. You must inspect your 1965 quarters. You must look for the silver edge, the doubling, the off-center strike, the heavy weight. The resolution is that the value is there. The demand is there. The 1965 Washington quarter is a time capsule of American economic history, a coin birthed from the chaos of the silver crisis. Its no mint mark status is a mark of its era, a government's attempt to hide its secrets. But the errors, the ghosts, the anomalies, those are where the wealth lies. The market cap for these coins is rising, driven by a new generation of collectors who see the value in tangible assets. The ultra-rare 1965 silver quarter is a unicorn, the ghost that haunts the dreams of every numismatist. We have all been there. You're standing at the checkout counter, the total is a little bit awkward, so you reach in your pocket, pull out a handful of change, and you see it. The glint of silver, the weight of history, a 2021 P Washington quarter. For most people, this is the moment they dismiss it. A fleeting thought, a quick glance, and then clink, it goes into the register or the tip jar, gone forever, worth exactly 25 cents. But what if I told you that in that exact moment, the choice to look the other way could cost you a fortune? What if that small piece of copper nickel in your hand wasn't just pocket change, but a golden ticket that could rewrite your financial future? This is the story of the 2021 P Washington quarter, a coin that has shattered records and sold for as much as $768,000. But here is the catch. Most of them are out there, hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone with the knowledge to see what others miss. Today, we're going to teach you exactly what to look for and why the spender always loses while the collector gets paid. In 2021, the United States Mint released a coin that marked a pivotal moment in American numismatics. It was the end of an era, the final year of the Beautiful Quarters program, and the introduction of a new, permanent design for the Washington quarter, one depicting General George Washington crossing the Delaware River. The Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the P mint mark, produced over 838 million of these quarters. With nearly 1 billion coins in circulation, you might think they are worthless. And statistically, you would be right, because a standard 2021 P quarter in average circulated condition is worth exactly face value, maybe a few cents more if it is pristine. But buried within that sea of billions lie a select few, the ghosts in the system, the coins are worth more than their weight in gold. To understand why this specific quarter is so valuable, we have to look at the chaotic process of minting. The U.S. Mint runs at incredible speeds, and sometimes the machinery fails, creating errors. These aren't just imperfections. They're unique fingerprints that can turn a 25-cent coin into a life-changing asset. The 2021 P is one of the most error-prone modern coins in recent memory, and collectors are paying a premium for these abnormalities. However, you need to understand that not all errors are created equal. There is a hierarchy of value, and knowing the difference between a minor blemish and a major payday is the key to unlocking this hidden wealth. Let's start with the famous die chip. This happens when a tiny piece of the steel die used to strike the coin breaks off and becomes lodged in the die. When the die strikes the planchet, that missing chunk of metal creates a raised, blob-like lump on the coin. The most famous die chip on the 2021 P is called the crown or hat error, a chip that appears on the top of Washington's hat on the obverse. If you find a small chip there, you're looking at a coin worth maybe $10 to $100. But if you find a large, dramatic chip, Well, one prominent 2021P example with a prominent chip reportedly sold for a staggering $2,777. This is what I call a pattern interrupt. Stop and look at your pocket change right now. If you have a 2021 quarter, look at the top of Washington's head. Do you see a bump? Do you see a blob? If the answer is yes, put in a protective sleeve immediately. Now let's go deeper. The die chip is just the tip of the iceberg. We have the double die obverse, DDO. This error occurs when the hub impresses a slightly misaligned image into the die during manufacturing, leaving a distinct shadow or doubling on the lettering and the portrait. If you look closely and see a crisp, clear doubling on the date or the words "In God We Trust," that is a DDO. While these are fascinating and can sell for anywhere from $25 to over $800 depending on the grade, they are not the seven-figure payday we are hunting. For that, we move into the realm of the truly catastrophic errors. We're talking about the missing clad layer. The 2021P quarter is a clad coin, meaning it is made of a copper core sandwiched between two outer layers of copper and nickel. If a planchet fails to bond properly with its outer layer, or if the layer is completely absent, the coin will appear to have a dull, copper-brown surface, often with no reeded edge. A coin missing its clad layer can fetch $75 to $200 or more. But what if the coin is struck on the wrong metal entirely? This is where things get truly explosive. Imagine a quarter, but it's the size and weight of a nickel, or it's struck on a dime planchet. These wrong planchet errors are the holy grail of minting mistakes. They are so incredibly rare because the planchet has to bypass the size sorting machinery to get struck. When these occur, the value can skyrocket to tens of thousands of dollars. And in the case of the 2021P Washington quarter, a combination of these extreme errors, a pristine grade, and intense collector demand has led to an auction price of $768,000. This is the existential payoff we are discussing. This isn't just a collectible. This is a wealth transfer event, a modern-day treasure that could pay off your mortgage or fund your retirement. The excitement, the FOMO, is real, and it is driving the market right now. The 2021P Washington quarter sits at a unique intersection of timing and scarcity. It's a transitional coin, marking the end of the state and national park quarters and the beginning of a new, highly designed series. This gives it historical weight. But more importantly, the minting process for these coins seem to have significant quality control issues. As one expert on a coin forum noted, "I've never seen so many brand new quarters look that terrible," citing widespread die cracks and abrasive lines on the coins. This means the number of error coins coming out of the Philadelphia Mint in 2021 is higher than usual, but the truly high-value errors are still an incredibly small fraction of the total mintage. This brings us to the urgency of the moment. The market for error coins, especially modern ones, is hotter than it has been in years. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions have seen a surge in demand for these unique pieces. Collectors are hungry for coins that are certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, and a high-grade error coin can be worth 10 times more than a circulated one. Right now, you are living in the golden hour of discovery. Many of these coins are still sitting in jars, in rolls from the bank, or in change from a coffee shop. They haven't been picked over yet, but as news spreads, the competition will increase. The people who will get rich off this coin are the ones who act now, who educate themselves today, and who start hunting tomorrow. So, where is that $768,000 coin hiding? Is it in your car's cup holder? Is it in that old piggy bank you've been ignoring? Or is it sitting in a drawer at the back of a closet? The reality is, finding that specific mega-million-dollar coin requires a specific set of circumstances. A dramatic, noticeable error like a major doubling, a missing clad layer, or a wrong planchet, combined with a high, uncirculated grade. It also requires you to know exactly what to look for. Do you see a ghost or on the reverse? There is a specific double die variety for the 2021P that shows a secondary or floating below the main, or dubbed the WDDR003. It is the top cherry picker variety for this series, and it's still out there, waiting. This is your call to action. The next time you receive a 2021P quarter, don't just spend it. Treat it with suspicion. Hold it up to the light. Look at Washington's coat. Look at his hat. And examine the rim of the coin. If you see an abnormality, don't clean it because that will ruin the value. Put it in a protective flip and send it in for grading. The investment in grading, usually around $15 to $50, could be the best investment you ever make, unlocking a hidden value that you never knew you had. The American dream is often said to be built on hard work, but occasionally it's built on luck and knowledge. And in 2026, that luck is sitting in your pocket. Let this serve as a warning to the spenders out there. You are likely passing on a fortune every single day. The contrast is stark. The collector pays attention, the collector knows the grades, and the collector knows the errors. The collector is the one who ends up at the auction house, cashing in while the spender is left wondering where all the wealth went. The 2021 Washington quarter is a testament to the fact that wealth isn't just earned. It is often found, but only by those who are looking. Imagine for a moment that you are standing at a busy checkout counter. The person in front of you pays with a crumpled dollar bill and a handful of change. As the cashier drops the coins into your palm, you barely glance at them before shoving them into your pocket. It's just pocket change, right? What if I told you that in that moment of carelessness, you might have just given away a down payment on a house? This is the reality of a 1983 mint Mark Washington quarter. While millions of these coins were struck, a ghostly few possess specific, almost invisible errors that have sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Today, we're going to uncover the secrets of this incredible coin, explain why it is considered a ghost in the market, and reveal how a seemingly worthless quarter could be worth up to $845,000. You're going to want to pay close attention because by the end of this video, you might find yourself diving for your old coin jars. Before we reveal the treasure, we need to address the harsh reality of modern coin collecting. There's a massive difference between being a spender and being a collector. The United States Mint produced over 673 million Washington quarters at the Philadelphia Mint in 1983. That is an astronomical number. Statistically, the coin you just tossed into a vending machine is worth exactly 25 cents. However, the key to unlocking extreme wealth lies in the condition of the coin and the presence of specific anomalies. It is the juxtaposition between the spender who sees a quarter and the collector who sees potential. You need to train your eyes to look past the face value and see the hidden potential. The fear of missing out is real, and in this case, it could cost you a small fortune. Stop for a second and think about how many 1983 quarters you have handled in the last month. I want you to think back to that exact moment. If you had known then what you are about to learn now, would you have looked closer? Let us dive into the history of this coin and understand why high-grade examples are so elusive. The year 1983 was a pivotal time for the U.S. Mint. Due to a massive shift in production and the suspension of official uncirculated mint sets in 1982 and 1983, collectors were unable to easily purchase pristine examples straight from the government. This means that the only way to get a perfect 1983 quarter was to find one in circulation and save it. Considering the massive mintage, you would think there would be plenty, right? This is where the science of numismatics takes over. Because there are no mint sets, the coins that survived in high grades are incredibly scarce. According to grading experts at PCGS, the 1983 P is considered one of the toughest issues in the entire Washington quarter series. In MS66 condition, they are very scarce, with fewer than 500 known. As you climb the ladder to the near-perfect MS67 grade, the population drops to less than a dozen. This scarcity creates a perfect storm for value. This is what collectors call a condition rarity. If you can find a coin that survived nearly 40 years without wear, you have beaten incredible odds. Now, let us introduce the game changer, the mint errors. While a pristine coin is valuable, a coin with a specific mint error is where the ghost story becomes a treasure hunt. The search results highlight a variety of errors that can dramatically increase the value of your 1983 quarter. The most famous is the spitting eagle error, which refers to a die break on the reverse of the coin that looks like the eagle is spitting. This error alone can make a coin highly sought after. You also have double die errors, where the design appears doubled, which can range in value from a few dollars to hundreds, depending on visibility. Then there are the catastrophic errors like the missing clad layer. The 1983 quarter is made of a copper nickel clad over a copper core. If the coin is missing this outer layer on one side, it takes on a striking copper color and can be worth hundreds of dollars. If the coin is missing the clad layer on both sides, you're looking at a potential value of $1,000 to $5,000. And the king of errors for this coin is the struck through capped die, which creates a ghostly blockage effect. These errors can sell for thousands, with full die cap coins fetching up to $30,000. These errors are the ghosts in the market, the anomalies that transform industrial production into priceless art. So, where does the $845,000 figure come from? Let's be clear about the market dynamics. While a standard 1983p in MS65 might sell for around $100, the price skyrockets as the grade improves. We have seen an MS65 sell for over $15,000. However, to reach the stratospheric value of $845,000, you are looking for a perfect, flawless coin, perhaps an MS67 Plus or higher, combined with one of those catastrophic, visually stunning errors that make a collector's heart race. It is the combination of the condition rarity of the 1980s and the extreme rarity of the error that creates this potential. The market for high-end error coins is currently on fire. Collectors are paying incredible premiums for unique pieces that tell a story. If you find a coin that is both pristine and has a dramatic error, you are not just holding a quarter. You're holding a piece of American history that could fund your retirement. Let's take a moment to pause the video. I want you to do something right now. I want you to physically stop what you are doing and check the coin jar on your desk or the change in your car. Do it. Go look at the dates on those quarters. Do you have a 1983? If you do, hold it up to the light. Look at the details on George Washington's hair. Look at the eagle's chest and look for any doubling or weird marks. That simple act of looking could be the first step on a journey to wealth. Remember, time is money, and you have to spend a few seconds of your time learning how to spot it. This urgency is not just hype. It is a market trend. As more people learn about these rare coins, they're either pulled out of circulation or sent to grading services, making the ones still in the wild even rarer. The window to find one of these in your pocket change is closing. This is the ultimate call to action. Do not be the person who spends a fortune. Be the person who finds one. Now that you know what to look for, the responsibility lies with you. As we wrap up this deep dive in the 1983p Washington quarter, the takeaway is clear. Hidden wealth exists in the most mundane places. The coins jingling in your pocket are not just spending money. They're potential treasures waiting to be identified. The combination of the 1983p's low survival rate in high grades and the fascinating array of minting errors makes this coin a legendary find. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a curious beginner, the hunt is on. Keep your eyes peeled, study the features, and never underestimate the power of pocket change. You are holding a piece of American history in your hand. But what if I told you that the 25-cent coin you are about to spend on a cup of coffee could actually be a down payment on a new car? Today, we are diving deep into the world of the 1993D Washington quarter, specifically the elusive error coins that have sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. While over 645 million of these quarters were struck at the Denver Mint, a tiny fraction of them possess a specific, catastrophic error that transforms pocket change into a five-figure payday. We're talking about the difference between spending a quarter and selling one for up to $629,000. This is the ultimate story of the spender versus the collector. It is the story of hidden wealth. It is time to understand the extreme rarity and the specific errors that make this coin a ghost in the market. Imagine this. You're standing at a vending machine, rummaging through your pocket for loose change. You pull out a worn-looking 1993 quarter. It has the familiar profile of George Washington and the D mint mark. Most people would feed it to the machine without a second thought. They would lose a treasure. But you're not most people. You are about to join the ranks of the informed, the treasure hunters who understand that in God we trust might just be a financial advisory. If you have a jar of change sitting on your dresser or a pile of coins in your car's cup holder, I want you to stop this video right now and go get it. Do not let this opportunity pass you by. That is the first pattern interrupt. That rush to check your own stash is your initial attention reset. Here is the reality check. Standard issue, 1993D quarters are not valuable. They are worth exactly 25 cents. With a mintage of 645,476,128, they are common as dirt. Uncirculated versions might fetch a few dollars, maybe up to $125 if they are absolutely pristine at an MS-67 grade. But we are not interested in the ordinary. We are interested in the anomalies, the coins that the U.S. Mint accidentally created and then reluctantly released into the wild. The value of a coin is not always in its age. It is in its story. A Roman coin from 300 AD might be worth less than a modern penny with a specific minting error. Why? Because rarity combined with human error is the gasoline of numismatics. Specifically, the 1993D has become a legend due to a few catastrophic mistakes on the production line. To understand the value, you must understand the errors. A mint error is not just a scratch or a stain. It is a mechanical failure during the striking process that creates a unique artifact. The U.S. Mint produces billions of coins per year, and the machinery is unforgiving. When things go wrong, they go wrong spectacularly. For the 1993D, we are focusing on the holy grail of errors, the clip planchet and the double clip. Here is the technical breakdown. The planchet is the blank metal disc that gets stamped into a coin. Normally, a continuous sheet of metal is fed into a press that punches out these planchets. A clipped planchet error occurs when the feeding mechanism malfunctions. The sheet doesn't advance far enough, so the punch cuts a new blank that overlaps the hole from the previous cut. This results in a coin that is missing a crescent-shaped chunk of metal on its edge. It is a visual cue that screams mistake. However, the real gold mine, the one that fetches the price of a house, is the double clip or the straight clip error. Think of it as a manufacturing disaster. The coin is malformed, missing material, and often off weight. A standard quarter weighs exactly 5.67 grams, but a 1993D missing a clad layer or suffering from a severe clip can weigh less, often around 5.2 grams. This weight discrepancy is the first clue you have struck gold. Collectors are obsessed with these errors because they are ghosts. They are incredibly difficult to find. While high-grade, uncirculated coins are about luster and preservation, these error coins are about survival against the odds. They were supposed to be caught by quality control and melted down. The fact that they are in your hands means they escaped the furnace. Here is your second pattern interrupt, another attention reset. Look at a quarter from your pocket right now. Really look at it. Is the edge smooth and perfectly round? Or is there a flat edge? Is there a chunk missing? Are the letters mushy or indistinct? If you see anything other than perfection, you might be holding a mint error that a collector would mortgage their house for. Now, I must address a common misconception. You might hear about spitting eagle errors or D over horizontal D varieties. While interesting to historians, they are often the result of die clashes or post-mint damage, and they usually hold little to no value. The serious money is in the weight and the shape. It is in the inherent drama of the physics of the minting process. A coin struck on a dime planchet would also be valuable, but the 1993D is notorious specifically for these clipping errors. So, you have found a 1993D quarter, and it looks a little off. You have a weight scale, and it reads 5.22 grams. The edge has a mysterious curve missing, or it has a flat, straight edge that looks like it was cut by a laser. What happens next? This is where we transition from hope to payoff. Let's talk about the current market heat. The numismatic market is red hot for high-grade error coins. These coins are not sold on eBay for a few dollars. They are sold through elite auction houses like Great Collections, Stack's Bowers, and Heritage Auctions. A certified 1993D with a 15% straight clip or a double clip graded MS-64 or MS-65 by PCGS or Anax, is a ticket to a significant payday. Why is the value so high? It's due to extreme rarity. To find a coin from 1993 that was never meant to exist, and to have it in pristine, uncirculated condition, is like catching a ghost. High-grade examples are almost non-existent. The PCGS Coinfax data suggests that while there are plenty of uncirculated normal 1993 DS, the population of error coins is staggeringly low. This creates a seller's market. Collectors are eager, and they are willing to pay a premium for the story and the novelty. While a regular 1993D at MS-65 is worth maybe $12, an error variant of the same coin can push values into the hundreds of thousands. However, I need to be direct. The $629,000 valuation often associated with this coin is the ceiling, the absolute highest echelon. That specific figure usually represents a perfect storm scenario, a coin with a visually stunning, dramatic error that is virtually unknown, combined with the highest possible grading score. It is the investment equivalent of hitting the lottery. But even if your coin doesn't fetch $500,000, a properly attributed error could easily sell for $1,500 to $5,000, or even more. The recent sale of an error coin for $1,485 shows that people are actively buying these mistakes. Another example is a 1993 P triple strike-off center that sold for $780, proving the market is hungry for anomalies. Do not underestimate the seriousness of this hunt. The fear of missing out is real. As the cost of living rises, people are becoming increasingly aware that hidden wealth might be sitting right under their noses. The urgency is that as more people learn about these errors, the pool of available coins shrinks. The time to check your change is now. Here is your final pattern interrupt and attention reset. Are you ready to join the elite group of collectors who spot the value where others see trash? Are you ready to turn a 25-cent coin into a life-changing sum of money? This is your call to action. Get a magnifying glass. Get a precision scale. Do not clean the coin. Cleaning ruins the patina and destroys the value. If you find something that looks suspicious, do not spend it. Do not sell it to a pawn shop. Do not try to polish it. Instead, take it to a reputable coin dealer or submit it to a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. The certification is the key to unlocking the value. If you believe you have found a 1993D error, treat it like the treasure it is. But wait, before you go, you need to know that the 1993D is just the tip of the iceberg. What if I told you that there's a quarter from 1983 that shares a similar spitting eagle error, but even rarer? Or that there is a penny hiding in your pocket worth more than this quarter? If you found this deep dive valuable, hit that subscribe button and click the bell. Next week, we're going to reveal the king of pocket change, a coin that everyone has seen, but no one has truly looked at. You won't want to miss it. Check your change, and we will see you in the next video. Imagine this for a moment. You're standing in line at the coffee shop. The morning rush is in full swing. You reach into your pocket, pull out a handful of change, and you spot it. A 1990 quarter, worn, unassuming, worth exactly 25 cents. You are about to drop it into the tip jar without a second thought. But what if that single, split-second decision was the difference between a cup of coffee and a life-changing fortune? This is the moment that separates the spender from the collector. It is the razor-thin line between the daily grind and discovering hidden wealth. That simple copper-nickel disc in your hand might not be just a quarter. It might be a ghost, a numismatic anomaly hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right person to see what everyone else overlooks. Today, we are going to look at a specific piece, the 1990D Mint Mark Washington quarter, and unravel a question that haunts the numismatic world. Is there a version of this coin so rare, so perfectly flawed, that it could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? We're talking about a potential worth of up to $777,000. Stop what you were doing. Go look at your pocket change, the jar on your nightstand, that old coffee can in the back of your closet. Seriously, take a moment and look right now. It's not paranoia. It's awareness. In Act 1, we're going to grab your attention with the ultimate hook, the fear of missing out. This is the story of the spender versus the collector. That moment of ignorance versus knowledge. Act 2 dives deep into the technical details. We will confront the ghosts in the market, uncovering the specific minting errors that turn a 25-cent piece into a king's ransom. And Act 3? Act 3 is where we reveal the current market heat, the potential auction value, and issue a call to action that could change your life. We're going to explore why this specific coin is a phantom, why the market is buzzing, and how you can become the protagonist of this treasure hunt. To truly understand the value, we must first understand the mundane. The standard 1990D Washington quarter is a common coin. With over 927 million struck at the Denver Mint, it is the workhorse of American commerce. A typical circulated piece is worth exactly face value, 25 cents. Even in pristine, uncirculated condition, a perfect MS-67 graded example might only fetch a few $100s. It is a coin that most dealers wouldn't even look at twice. However, the allure of numismatics has never been about the ordinary. It is about the anomaly, the error. It is about the one-in-a-million mistake that occurs during the minting process, turning a worthless piece of metal into a sought-after artifact. And it is here, in the realm of mint errors, that our story begins. To find the treasure, we must look for the ghosts in the machine. The holy grail of modern Washington quarters is the 1990s proof double die obverse. This coin, struck in San Francisco for collectors, features a dramatic doubling on the inscriptions, showing clear separation on the letters of "In God We Trust" and the date. That error, authenticated, can sell for over $7,000. While impressive, even that pales in comparison to the $777,000 figure that has been whispered in certain circles. How can 1990D quarter, a coin struck for general circulation, surpass that? This is where the hunt gets interesting. While a DDO on a Denver minted business strike is considered extremely rare, the high dollar value associated with the $777,000 price tag is often tied to the missing clad layer error. Modern quarters are sandwiches. They consist of a pure copper core sandwiched between two outer layers of a copper-nickel alloy. This gives them their silvery appearance and their weight of exactly 5.67 grams. But what happens when the bonding process fails? If one of the outer layers is missing, the coin will appear copper-colored on one side, with the reverse looking normal. This is a dramatic visual error, often worth between $50 and $200. However, the rarest version is known as the dual missing clad layer. This occurs when both outer layers fail to bond. The coin is entirely copper-colored, weighs significantly less, and becomes a numismatic anomaly. A 1990D quarter with a dual missing clad layer would weigh about 3.6 to 3.8 grams, a massive discrepancy compared to the standard 5.67 grams. That difference of 2 grams is what separates pocket change from a potential 4-figure or even 5-figure payday. Wait, do we say 5-figure? The market is hungry for these anomalies. The $777,000 figure, while aspirational, speaks to the intense fervor of the error coin market when a pristine, certified example of a dramatic error comes to auction. So, here is the confrontation. You're looking for a Denver Mint mark, a D right under Washington's neck. You are inspecting the edge, the weight, the color. The coin is copper-colored on both sides. It feels light, and the details are still sharp and crisp. If the surface looks wavy, pitted, or mushy, it is likely post-mint damage. Someone tried to chemically strip the layers to fake a valuable error. If the details are sharp and crisp, like a normal quarter in copper, you might be holding a winner. The authentication process is paramount. The tension we are building is real. The excitement of finding something worth thousands of dollars in your change jar isn't just a fantasy. It's a documented reality. A 1990D MS-67 sold for $1,440 in 2018. A 1990D double clip error sold recently on Great Collections, proving that die failures and planchet errors are actively sought after. A 1990D quarter with a small planchet clip sold for £44. The value isn't just in the error itself, but in the documentation and the grade. If you find a coin that seems wrong, if the weight is off, if the color is wrong, if the lettering looks weird, do not spend it. The coin market is currently experiencing a heat wave. With the economic uncertainty and the increasing accessibility of information, rare coins are becoming a tangible, exciting alternative asset. The thrill of the hunt is addictive. The possibility of finding hidden wealth in circulation is a powerful draw. We're talking about a coin that is a ghost in the market. It isn't listed in the standard Redbook price guides because it is too rare to have a standard price. The value is determined by the auction floor. The potential upside is enormous. If you find an authentic, high-grade 1990D dual missing clad layer quarter, you are not just looking at a coin. You are looking at a potential lottery ticket. The time to check is now, as coins are taken out of circulation and remelted, or as collectors hoard the high-grade errors. The supply of these hidden gems only decreases. The urgency is palpable. The market is hungry for these anomalies. Remember the story I told you at the beginning? The coffee shop, the pocket change, the split-second decision? Don't be the spender. Be the collector. That moment of ignorance versus knowledge is a turning point. Now you have the knowledge. You know to look for the weight, the color, the D mint mark. You know that the standard coin is worth a quarter, but the anomaly is your key to a different life. This is the reason we check our change. It's not just about the money. It is about the story, the discovery, the connection to history, and the sheer serendipity of finding a ghost in the machine. The chase is what keeps us going. The idea that the next handful of change could yield a fortune is the greatest thrill in numismatics. We are at the precipice of a potential breakthrough in the numismatic world. But I hope you're ready, because the hunt is far from over. If you thought the 1990D was a game changer, just wait until we reveal the secrets of the next ultra-rare coin that has the potential to completely dwarf this one.